Jai Gurba, Jai Johar, Namaste, Bonjour, hello everyone. The title is really long. I didn't edit it. I just sent it the way it was. but here I am. Indigenous peoples have always been the object of scientific, social science research, but not the co-creators of the knowledge that was produced. And I'm the live witness. When I moved to Nepal, many researchers came from university. They spent a month, 2 weeks, 3 days, never heard from them again. Um, so this conference is of great importance, and it's a great sign that things will improve. I'm hopeful. We're starting to give importance to indigenous people's knowledge systems. And I take this opportunity to thank to the team of Pontifical Academy of Science, Social Sciences, for the kind invitation to this event. It's such an incredible moment for me to be among all of you. It feels like the monsoon rain has arrived. My heart and spirit are happy to be here. I would like to think of all the indigenous ancestors before us and would like to kindly invite their spirits into this room to hear us speak. I also invite the spirit of our Mother Earth to witness this event. I also want to invite the spirit of the monsoon winds, the birds, the rivers, and the fish that swim that river, our mountains, the Himalayas, our forests, and the earthworms who are in our creation stories. I also would like to invite the warmth of our grandfather sun and the coolness of our grandfather moon to this room. I hope this won't be the last time and such discussion will continue to shape the world that we live in. My name is Brijal Chaudhari, and you can call me Brij for short because my name, people cannot pronounce my name. I'm a Tharu nation from the foothills of the Himalayas, where the rhinos and the elephants used to roam freely. Tharu peoples are one of the largest indigenous communities in Nepal, and our social institutions are based on monsoon rain, which is a blessing and a gift to our peoples for the continuation of our livelihoods and our traditions. I come from a tradition where my mothers and sisters collectively sing to the mango trees and the flowers before they pick their leaves and their flowers for our ceremonies. So you can imagine how much goes into, how much respect goes into just picking up the leaf and the flowers that we need for our ceremony. Now again, the importance of indigenous peoples in biodiversity, climate change, all the long topic that you heard. And a couple of days ago, I read about Yanomami people. Sorry if I mispronounce the name of Brazil. And I just wanted to quote a leader, Yanomami leader, Davi Kapenawa. He says, Omama, the creator and the father of Yanomami peoples, hung the sky. Initially, he propped the sky up on a single rock, but that was not firm enough. The sky fell and killed many people, many. So he hung it up again. And this time he propped more rocks so that it would hold steady. The Yanomami believes that the sky will fall again only when there are no more Yanomami peoples to keep the sky and the earth in balance. I feel the same way for my people and indigenous people around the world. We keep the balance. We are the peacekeepers. And this shows how important indigenous people are to this topic: biodiversity conservation, climate change, food, nutrition, all these things. So I found this story so relevant to our indigenous people around the world, my own Tharu peoples, because our social institutions, our governance system, our knowledge system are built in harmony with the forces of nature and Mother Earth. Indigenous peoples are the oldest living memory of what it means to subsist on this planet. This was said by Don Morrison. He's from British Columbia. Um, and Robin Wall Kramer, if you know her, breeding sweetgrass. um, she talks about indigenous peoples and their institutions. She sees indigenous peoples and their institutions as an old growth culture, like an old growth forest that is mature, stable, and able to regenerate. Even there is a small disturbances. So we are resilient. Indigenous peoples' culture and our knowledge system did not come about overnight. It's more than thousands of years of work. Our old cultures, like the old growth forest, still exist that could serve the humanity to solve the issues that we're facing today. The land, forests, rivers hold memory and the possibility of regeneration. We just have to reconnect, go back to our land and our forests and our rivers. What we need is indigenous people's leadership. That's what we need. That's what I think. In decision making to restore the harms that colonialism and the neoliberal policies and their institutions have done to our Mother Earth and indigenous peoples. So now I'll go back to Nepal a little bit just to link up. In Nepal, all national parks, the conservation areas, were indigenous territories that our ancestors dwelt, protected, and lived in harmony with. The national parks, conservation areas, and reserves originate from a very different knowledge system, which we all know. So the concept is like if you separate humans from the nature, the forest, everything prospers, but our way of life is very different. We coexist. So there is an opportunity for science and indigenous peoples to live, to co-create and learn and create something better in that realm. And we are often criminalized when we demand our inherent rights to govern ourselves, to take care of our land and territories and forests. You can look into West Papua, Myanmar, Chittagong Hill Tracts of Bangladesh, India, Odisha, where indigenous territories are highly militarized. There are more militaries to protect the interests of mining companies and many more. In 2022, a Tharu girl from my community was shot by forest guards because she was gathering non-forest items from her forest. So you can see the level of difference, how people see the forest and resource management techniques. Now the food system. So my traditions are based on monsoon. When the monsoon rains happens, we start planting. We put the seed. And when we put the seed, it's just not for the season, it's for the whole year. And the monsoon also floods the rice plantation, and we have a lot of fish. So before the harvest, we drain the water, and there is fish for the whole year in our own rice plantation, and we eat for the whole year. And after the rice plantation harvest, we have all the vegetables that comes in. We also dry them so that we have food for the whole year. And Tharu people are specialized for food storage and drying the food so that the whole year we're fed with diverse and nutritious food. We trap fish, we gather from the forest, we collect honey. So there are different ways of collecting food for our people. And indigenous foodways are crucial, and the role of indigenous people's leadership is important in driving the coalition of indigenous people's food system that Jan was mentioning. We need indigenous people leadership and strong one because time is running out, you know. And when it comes to nutrition, you know, our food system is very diverse. We eat 14 different kinds of spinach just in one season, and we dry them so that we can eat it in the monsoon when nothing grows. It's all flooded. And there are a variety of, we are landlocked countries, so even from the rice field, we gather a variety of snails, different kind of aquatic fish, even dried, all that. So we need to protect that, I hope that it continues, the tradition continues, but there's agrochemicals, in 1980s, Nepal went through structural adjustment policies. I'm sure many of your countries did, and fertilizer came. Now my brother sells pesticides, so see the level of change that's happening. To keep the indigenous people knowledge thriving and transmitted to new generations, our land and our traditional territories are very important. We need our land, forests, mountains, and rivers because they are our schools, pharmacies, our grocery stores, and spiritual sites. If we remove ourselves from our territories, our social institutions, our gift economy, somebody mentioned that, it's so important, starts to degrade, and it's already degrading. Still today in Asia, where two-thirds of indigenous people live, are fighting for the legal recognition of their identity and access to their territories, and are also fighting legal battles in their with their national government to amend their national park law, conservation law. Our national law do not align with our laws. There is often tension, and I see this everywhere around the world. We need to work together in reforming the existing constitution or laws that works for indigenous peoples and their realities as well. We know that indigenous peoples are indispensable partners for climate solutions, protecting biodiversity, and improving our food systems. We have many foundations here today and representatives of UN that know this very well, yet there is doubt in our minds, in our hearts. We all need to unlearn and relearn to engage meaningfully with indigenous people. I invite you to learn our songs, learn our language as we did yours. The funding that is pledged to support indigenous peoples for climate change biodiversity conservation must go to indigenous people directly. And we need to change the way we are selling the idea of sustainability and transitioning into green economy. We need to change the way development is planned and implemented. We need to move away from production paradigm and move into a holistic way and regenerative paradigm that indigenous peoples have championed for generations. We need to drive away the spirit of Dalidar through our songs. Dalidar is a spirit in Tharu epistemology. It's a greed that lives within us. So every year my mom sings a song and beats her drum to push this spirit away. But this spirit is unleashed. We can see it in agrochemicals, we can see it in multinational, and they're going bigger and bigger. We need to think how we need to think about the degrowth paradigm, because perpetual growth is not compatible with natural law. And I will just conclude. Just to conclude, I want to invite you all to work like my mountains, like my Himalayas, like my forest, and the winds that carries the rain, and the ocean that brings monsoon to my land, that sustains all forms of life. So think about this monsoon, and let's work together. And through kindness and deep respect, I hope we will continue this conversation, because it's a lot of work, and I don't think today is enough or tomorrow is enough for this to carry on. We have to envision more than 15 generations, as my mother does. She tracks 15 generations before her, and she thinks about 15 generations after her. So that's the vision we must carry in moving this work forward. So once again, thank you so much, and dhanyavad.